All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to War in the Pacific Admiral's Edition. And we are here on December 1943, and trying to push forward on Java, and also hoping to launch our attack invasion of Mindanao within the next few days. Um, so hoping to maybe beat my timetable of man, I'm just frustrated. My subs aren't doing anything lately. So, yeah, hopefully beat my timetable of, uh, I was thinking January 44. But it looks like we're going to be in there a bit sooner than that. Soon I'll have to redirect these subs that are operating in the Philippines because we'll have air power chasing away those cargo ships. Now, here at Bangkok, I'm very frustrated, yes, about yesterday's naval attack that decimated uh, our, our naval attack forces. And I have some other air units that I've placed on naval attack. So I didn't do what I usually do. I usually pull back, but now I've put these guys on sweep. I have another squadron sweeping, and then my air units that are flying in to hit the um, to hit will our fighters. So they should get in low and do some damage, I'm hoping. So we swept pretty good. Um, Sorry to kind of skip the air battle, but I'm trying to push on here, and an air battle is an air battle, just fighters shooting each other up. Plus, lately it seems like we're on par, and you just kind of have to knock it out quicker, otherwise you'll be watching a lot of damage or misses and whatnot. But you can see here we did lose at least one lightning, and we don't even know. Maybe we lost some on the other sweep as well. I'm hoping our naval attack happens this morning, because if we wait till PM, he's going to have all those fighters back up in the air again, and I'm not really thrilled about that. All right, this is where we have our flak, and didn't really do a whole lot, but you never know, maybe some ops losses or whatnot. Well, he has a lot of aircraft, so a lot of opportunity for us to shoot some of these aircraft down, but we're not. Let's just say we're not getting any direct destructions, but it could be we're going to see some ops losses. We'll find out later. All right, see, we reduced his Tojo fighter cap to 8. Hopefully we can get under this, but apparently not. So we have 18. Let's see how many we have left after we have to deal with these Tojos. Let's move on. All right, we lose 4. They're strafing, no torpedo dropping, nothing. I'm not sure what's going on. But I do have some P-51s with bombs coming in, and if you're not going to torpedo, see, it does say bombing. I don't know how to use these. I do not know how to use these bow fighters, apparently. They have torpedoes. I'm flying them as one would a torpedo bomber, and it's just not really doing anything. All right, P-51s, please. Oh man, I don't know if they're gonna go. That's the other thing. The P-51s just don't usually. Whoops, sorry. They don't usually like. They're not aggressive when I say do a naval strike. It's within range, but it's just not going. So, and I just saw it said that we had a cancellation at Bangkok, and I wonder if that could be recon that canceled. It could also be my P-51s canceled. So, anyhow, too bad I didn't do that sweep yesterday and have some torpedo bombers get some actual torpedoes into the ships. But here's what I'm going to do. So long as he's there at Bangkok, we'll have another sweep, but this time with P-51s. Because even if they won't do any naval bombing, they can get in there with and beat up his fighter units. I think it's going to be a lot more even, the air losses this time. We still lost some bullfighters, but he's going to lose plenty of air units himself, I think. All right, let's carry on here. Looks like just a bunch of bombardments. And I may go ahead and take a pause and show you the air losses for the day, and probably press on it shortly after that. It turned out to be a better day in the air than I actually expected. I thought we lost 4 bullfighters in air to air. They might have just turned away and from the battle, but 6 total to 28. It looks like kind of a reverse from yesterday. Um, but let's take a look at what he lost. This is way overstated. Very likely heavy on the Tojos, but who knows? You can just kind of see though that it looks like all of the damage we inflicted on those Chinese bombers, 0 losses. So it's all the air action over Bangkok, and then we lost a smattering of air units. It ended up being 2 P-38Hs, and these 2 bullfighters actually are showing as ops losses. And then we've got a PB4Y. What is that? Recon, and then yeah, a float plane. So not a bad day. And let's see about our pilot loss. 1 killed. Also not a bad day. Let's see if we have any information here. Nothing. We didn't hit anything, so I'm not surprised. And then, real quick, the Grampus, yeah, we already know about that. We're still not seeing his sub loss and some other lucky hits. Just to kind of, let's see, real quick, we did see that a couple of capital ships showed up, and we'll get those on the board. Get them here in the Andaman Sea. And using these to bombard some locations might be pretty handy, but they can't park at Rangoon, unfortunately, so I'll be thinking about how I'm going to use them. I believe, I'm going to assume that the battle cruiser is similarly restricted to not be able to go into Rangoon. I'm trying to see what the difference is. I'll have to take a look at that because uh, I may have to. I may take advantage of this opportunity to upgrade, but I'm not sure because this has torpedoes and this does not. I don't know. I'm not gonna stress about it right this minute. What about the Queen Elizabeth? Well, that's not upgrading till June anyway, of 44. All right, I didn't want to take all this time, so I will real quick show the settings for those who are interested. First of the Mustang, and you can see here we're at low. We have 9 hexes, which is the distance to Bangkok, and we're doing a naval attack. You cannot specify a target, so I'm just saying, okay, you can go 9 hexes and bomb something, and they did not do that. And then, pardon me, I'm sorry, we had these A36s. Now this is a bit of a stretch. We did 9, but that was extended radius. I don't know if I wasn't surprised they didn't go. I just am surprised the P-51s didn't. And then just to kind of top off the conversation, these fighter bombers are carrying torpedoes, and it says using torpedoes, and it's in yellow, which means we have torpedoes here to use. But when you look here, it doesn't have any bombs. So I am not sure how to read any of this. I'm so confused. And yet, if we did look, we have no bombs here, default load. If we did extended range, we actually would carry 2 bombs. So I'm thinking that I might literally, and I don't even know why I had, like, we could say don't use drop tanks. That might be interesting. Wonder if that's the reason they don't carry torpedoes, because they're going, okay, that's what it is. Now I get it. Man, I could have figured, oh, that's frustrating. Let's go. And now it's too late. He's probably gonna leave. So we'll try this one more day, right? Here we go. We've got 12 plus 6. We got 18 bullfighters that hopefully can get in there and get a torpedo into something. Let's check it out. And sorry for the long uh, discourse or monologue here, but I just want to make sure that's set to go. I think we're going to be good. Well, thanks everyone. I will be back to talk about the 20th very soon, at least in according to you. See ya. Okay, we're back. It's the 20th of December, 1943, and we're getting closer to our invasion of Mindanao. I'm getting pretty excited about that. Let's see, who's firing? Oh, he's firing. So I was hoping we hit, but since it's him attacking us, then never mind. 2 hits. He's getting pretty lucky there, or whatever. I guess I'm not complaining because we've had our own successes in the ASW situation. I don't think there's any air units here. I think he's flying long range cap. That's probably that light cargo ship there in the Philippines area. And then we got this guy. I'm hoping this is one of those ships that's bringing supplies to China so that we can minimize what he's doing up there. All right, his ships have left Bangkok, so my epic attempt to do something failed. But what I need to do now is put these P-51As on escort, and from now on, if our naval attack goes off, these guys will escort them. And I think I'm gonna do that because I don't need them anymore for anything else. That bombing raid not so effective. Okay, that's better. So one reason is to see, this is also taken, let's see, 30th Engineer Regiment. He's also got some of these other, well, there it is again, cycling back. Field Artillery, AF Battalion, SNLF, Southwest Fleet Area, ooh, an HQ. Isolate that HQ and go in, get after it here. So, good to know. Some decent damage too to these ground troops. The hope here is to not only beat up the troops, like 3 destroyed, 2 destroyed guns, not just to do that kind of damage, but also hopefully mess with his supply situation. As he, well, also to deplete his ability to counterattack us, because we're marching troops into Surabaya right now. And I was worried with almost 20,000 troops what he could do to us, but I'm not worried about that anymore. I think we'll be okay. All right, and these two aircraft, these two squadrons bombing, there usually was a Blenheim 4 coming in with them, but I inadvertently had selected them to upgrade. So now that squadron his Hurricane 2 Cs, which is fine. I just opted to move forward with that. I mean, I didn't have much of a choice. And we'll just have more fighters in the area. Oh. So I have fighters flying cover in China, some hurricanes, and he didn't even pull the trigger on the bombing, or weather affected it, or something, because our hurricanes did not fly. Like, oh man, so he got out of there with the infantry, but he left behind these 2 units. I'm gonna assault it, but now I'm thinking, man, I wish we would have known that. It's just hard to know. He had all 4 units there yesterday, and now he has only 2. And if I would have attacked, I would have hit those 2. But there's also a chance, or with my recon, it looks like I would have to still fight all 4. So I opted not to do something crazy. If I attacked and all 4 units were there, I'd look like an idiot. So I just decided to go with the safe option, and there we go. We missed an opportunity. But I'll trigger an attack and we'll knock those 2 guys out. All right. So we got a. Okay, I'm always happy to see the win with more than double the sorties. Although I say that, well, I'll get to that. More than double the sorties, we have the same number of casualties. If you look here, you can see we have 10,365 aircraft. If I remove the Soviets, see this 7,822, and surely if you do this patrol, and well, that's not going to work. But let's say all these zero training, they're doing nothing. So what I mean is this number is probably like 3,000. Maybe that's maybe that's crazy. Oops. 7,000. Let's see. That's 2,500. So let's subtract 2,500 from this, because for some reason this includes training. So 68.95. So just under 7,000. So it's not quite double. So anyway, that's enough about that. All right, you can see the anti-aircraft is, with all the damage we're doing, he ends up losing 5 aircraft total there in China. 1 Tojo, 1 Oscar for ops. We lost 2 killed pilots and or crew. And last turn we sank this cargo ship, and I think there's gonna be 2 of them. They're small, cheap boats. They don't. I'm sure the Japanese don't mind losing them. And you can see there the situation. I'm just gonna jump right into it, and I won't take long, because we literally just talked about a lot of this stuff, and there's really no reason to ramble about it some more here. But you can see these amphibious ships. He's detected them. Now I don't know where he sees them moving. Are they moving northwest or west? But see, they're right next to Minato. He hopefully will see that and think, oh, they're just dropping off at Minato. Because as soon as we get here and we regroup how we're situated, these ships with their escorts and a bunch of these escort carriers. So we've got 6 here, and then I believe 6 more sitting here. Well, that's 5. Yeah, 6. So we have 12. I'm going to basically have 12 escort carriers parked here with the invasion force. And then you can see here, this is my, I guess what we call Death Star. And I'm going to park it, say right in here between these two islands. And that he'll see us here, I'm sure. But that'll hopefully deter any kind of incoming ships from either direction. Plus, we've got serious air power here. I can't get it here yet. We don't have air capacity. So I have a couple options. One, I could just delay, build this up, and bring in air units. I don't have the patience for that. Probably the smart thing to do, but I'm gonna just push forward. We're gonna be aggressive. Foolishly aggressive, perhaps you could argue, but we're gonna still do it. That's that. We are unloading significantly a lot of stuff here, and therefore the supply's all jammed up here. Everything is just very inconvenient because we don't have a proper port yet. But that's where these tanks come in. The 2/7 Armored tomorrow will be here, and then I'm gonna try to get into this still is nothing, but Chillicothe, if I can capture this, that'll help us unload a lot faster. At least the supplies can come into here, and the rail will be wide open from here to Chepo and all these other bases. So any supplies will just run down here very quickly. Um, and basically, yeah, all three of these units will be here tomorrow. Um, and so we'll be investing this. You see this Japanese control on these 3 hex sides. That will disappear tomorrow because we'll be entering from all 3 hex sides. And then I can come in and go as I please. Probably I will pull these commandos out and we'll keep moving up and capturing some of these rear bases, um, along with the tanks. And maybe the tanks will get through it faster. Then the next, and I have more troops, infantry, and whatnot coming here. We'll assault this at some point, but also my goal is to get up here and invest this as well, fully cut it off and surround it, siege it basically. So we'll have a couple of places we're sieging. I have no idea the level of base this is, the base level. And this is clear with probably maybe even level 9 forts. So we're gonna have to be careful. And that's where the engineers come in, because we've got combat engineers to go in there and dismantle the um, fortifications. Each of these divisions should also have combat engineers, albeit not a bunch. Um, and all these that are in strat mode, I'm going to keep them here in strat mode because that'll allow me to push them to the front lines a lot quicker. And then we can put them in, yeah, put them into Surbio, wherever they're going. So like the 2nd Australian, that's going to go. This is going to go, but see, they're not fully unloaded. We just have this massive traffic jam here. And let's get in there. Still unloading. Anytime you see this /5/9, it means it's just an element of the overarching unit. And that's there's no surprise here. There's a lot to come in for the both of these. And then this is not fully unloaded yet, and but that's the situation right now. You can see these base forces like this RAN. It's in combat mode because we still have engineers here, and so why not help build this base quicker? And I cannot use naval support here. It won't. Anytime the base the base number is 0 for port capacity, it does not allow you to use naval support, and so these sitting here is pointless. However, there's nothing else to do with them at this moment, so why not just keep them here and um, for now, because of the engineers, like I said. If we look at this 173.36, we should be building this base up rather quickly. I also am hoping to build this base up, but right now we have 0 engineers. But that's where this unit comes in, because we've got a few engineers. It's not a lot, but it's more than 0, right? We like more than 0. But but yeah, it's really hard to get in here. We can't dock, and it might be quicker to do amphibious, except for there's a couple of things. One, the capacity of the transports is reduced when you do amphibious, and two, they unload slowly because they're these big lumbering APs. If we had APAs or AKs available, which I don't because I'm using them in this operation of the Philippines, if we had that, we could get in quicker. But that's not meant to be. Um, so I think what I'm going to do is tomorrow all this stuff will be here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and bombard this, right? And also I'm going to send some ASW assets to park right there and patrol maybe these 3 hexes. And then I'm going to also send a cruiser group to bombard this, Holo. And then I'll bombard, and he may not know where we're going to hit. Um, like, I'm thinking about bombarding Cotabato, so I could bombard Holo and Cotabato. And also, no, they won't make it there this turn. It'll probably come up here and park and rush in, and maybe come here and rush in. But I say that because I'm talking about the cruisers. The cruisers might get here because it's 9 hexes. However, this barrier reef or whatever is gonna make it so you have to kind of. It might still make it because you go up here like that. I don't know. We'll find out. But I'm not gonna do anything right now. I want to give myself one more day to position, because then here's what's going to happen. My transports will be halfway to Datangas, maybe all the way actually. Maybe they'll get all the way there in one day, especially if I put them on direct. Get in here. Um, yeah, maybe we just have to do everybody do not refuel. Okay, I don't need the fuel right now anyway. Uh, all right, and then surface. No. I don't want there to be any ops used tomorrow I want everybody to have ops of 0. And the only way to ensure that is to put these on do not refuel, and then we'll send them on their respective missions. The transports may get here in one day. If they're stuck off here, whatever, it's fine. But we can bombard, come back tomorrow, bombard again, and repeat, rinse and repeat. Let me see. And then, of course, this giant task group, we'll call it a fleet. This giant fleet will move up, not yet, one more day. And I expect them to know where our massive carrier group is. All right, and I already talked about Java. So yeah, and again, the supply situation is a little bit grim because even though we have cargo ships here, we're just not able to unload quickly because of the traffic jam. And I'm not in a hurry to go to Chepo to unload cargo supplies because I am very nervous. Well, no, we don't have air. I can't cover this just yet either. I want fighter escorts wherever I'm unloading. So, or sorry, cap. So I'd love to have fighters wherever I'm gonna go to unload. And right now that's Banyuwangi. Let's see here. Let's okay. So, yeah, you kind of have an idea of what he has here from the bombings, but 9 units, 16,000 troops. That's like equivalent of a division, but there's a lot of engineers, non-combat stuff, and then he does have some artillery and so forth. So I'm not real, and then NHQ. So I'm not real excited about or well, for one, I'm not worried about him attacking us, but I'm not excited about trying to knock him out of there either. It looks like it's going to be daunting, but we'll get in there. We're going to bring in some artillery as well. Once we get the artillery in place, we can start bombarding and get a better feel for what he has, and also try to burn through his supplies. Okay, we got some. What's this? Okay, these are the LSTs that we're unloading at Rangoon. We're just gonna go back to Calcutta and load them up, and we can park them here at Rangoon again for the next time we might need them. And maybe we're here to stay now at Port Blair, and maybe we're slowly gaining the initiative here as well. Um, it's hard to tell. But yeah, let's do this before I forget. Let's do an attack. In fact, for the armor, I'm gonna do shock. Although, again, I don't know if he's still gonna be here tomorrow. This division is still taking a long time. Eventually, we'll get there. This guy is trying to go back to the well, Pegu, but anyway, to eventually we're going to reform this 36th Indian, and I just wanted to be ready for that. There's no rush, but I'm also not really pushing yet with some of these guys either. Let's push forward with this brigade. And we have one more brigade parked here, and we're trying to recover. We lost a lot of troops at one point, and just trying to get that back in, get that unit back in shape. Yeah, so looking good. We got more various things coming to Chiang Mai to allow us to start thinking about being aggressive. What I could do at this stage is maybe what I'll do is I'll upgrade because I think I can. I'll upgrade this and we'll say stand down. Well, let's see. How are we doing here? I'll say stand down. Um, and when this is ready, when we got all 16 fighters ready, we'll fly this to Chiang Mai and cap over it. And we were flying these two squadrons. We're flying cap over this unit here because he likes to bomb here, but he didn't bomb here. Again, weather or other reasons. So the fatigue is not terrible. I'm gonna keep this here. Um, let's put one of them at. Whoops. Let's put one of them at 15K and one at 12. And I do have two more Hurricane squadrons. No, that's not right. Where? I brought them. Yeah, two more Hurricane squadrons. We could swap them out. Um, eh, and if I'm worried about the fatigue and flying out being dangerous to the oh wow, 8 still. Okay, so never mind. I was gonna say I can rail them here so that they don't fly and get even more fatigued, but um it looks like it's 8 hexes away, which is exactly the range our hurricanes have to rebase. So that won't allow us to rail at all. Um, and then there you have it. It's kind of just static. I guess we could see he has some stuff here. Not sure what because it's not. We don't have enough recon on it. But I will say that we did a recon mission, and where did we recon? Let me check that. Well, I can look at this and see. So we looked at Xinjiang and Nanyang. Is that it? Let's take a look at those then. Well, here's Nanyang, and I see nothing. If you see the tooltip here, there's nothing in here indicating spotting of anything. But here's Xinjiang, detection 1 of 2. We would have to just keep doing this. Here, this is what you got to do. I've noticed this with when you don't have air units with cameras, you kind of just have to use them all. So we'll just do that. I do like to rest. I think, it keeps the aircraft pristine and the pilots rested, but I gotta test some of this to learn how this is gonna work. We don't have any I'm just gonna look at this one. We don't have any cameras per se, but it's fine. We're just trying to figure out where he might be. What he has at these bases. Xinjiang and now look at this. See, he's walking right past us and he's not aimed for us at all. I think that's fascinating, but that's fine. Well, that's kind of it, really. I know I mentioned being quick earlier in this video, but it's what it is. I guess I had more to talk about. I will say real quick, these engineers that are moving in, things seem so slow that I don't know um, how many more days it'll take for these base forces and whatnot to get in here. But it's fine. They'll get here when they get here. And and we do have engineers here, dedicated engineers that we haven't had in a while, and they're starting already working. So at least there's, and also the repair, it's completely repaired. So there's not a major stress or anxiety over that. By the way, speaking of repairs, finally Denpasar is completely repaired, and now we're upgrading some things about it, and that's going to be nice. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it here. This guy was probably here at Ben Yuang, so it's kind of cool that already some things are here and wrapping up, but other things we just got way again that traffic jam is very problematic. Well, I'm gonna see you next time when we talk about December 21, and we'll reconvene then. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Oh, I'll interject this real fast, since I thought it was going to be very interesting. We do have, well, it's a long ways off, so maybe I shouldn't get too excited. I don't see it still. We're going further and further east. So this is one carrier task force, the Wasp and the Saratoga, that was stuck back at San Francisco upgrading or doing its thing. And finally, it's done. Finally, we stopped at Pearl Harbor and repaired just because some of these ships just really take that operations damage just sailing through the choppy waters. And we're going to get rid of Manus. And I don't know if we're gonna stop. I mean, we could. We got some damage here. But what I was gonna say is we'll get here and then we can proceed to meet up in this area with the rest of the carriers. And then I think I'm gonna tell you this. I think once we get pieces in place, like maybe we've got Capture Davao or Cotabato. We get some fighters up here. We get engineers here to build these bases and get some more air units. Once we get air power in strength, what I'm gonna do is bring my carriers. Be and oh yeah, I guess like for example, no, actually, those are in good shape. We could still keep some of these carriers on the front lines. What actually, what was I looking at? There was, well, okay, so the Lexington. So maybe it's not even that many that we'll need to pull off the front lines. But I'd like to pull off some of these ships in January once we once we get our toehold into the Philippines. I think that we could be free to um, to do that. Let me say this. Next month, allowed or not allowed, it kind of say allow, but it should be sorted well enough. So yeah, it looks like we could just grab these carriers and these cruisers and even these anti-aircraft cruisers and go upgrade them because it looks like for the most part it's just one. Basically, that would drop our ability. Basically, we'd have exactly the same number of carriers we have right now because the Wasp will be here uh, and all we'll lose two, we'll gain two carriers and to lose two carriers. So we'll basically be back to status quo. I think that's okay. And then the rest of the ships can repair as needed as well, not just refits. And then we'll be ready to explore other options. One thing I would like to have my carriers based in the Manado area. It's a pretty good port, I reckon. Davao is even better. We're going to have an HQ here, I think. That's what I want to do. and somewhere I'm gonna make sure we pick a good port, and it might be Davao. It could also be. I think Davao is better than some of these others because it's also it's easier to operate out here. But anyway, I'm here. I'm rambling again. But the point is, we'll have the ability to patrol with our carriers out in this area. Maybe raid some of these bases, and suppress things. I don't want my carriers too far away from the Mindanao because if his carriers come to do a raid, I want to be able to hit them really good, really hard. All right, I'm done now, literally. So again, as I was saying before, have a good rest of your day. Take care, everyone. Bye.